Nathan Pierce stood in his Seattle penthouse office, staring at the security footage that would change everything. His heart pounded as he watched his fiancée Vanessa kiss his business rival in the very conference room where they had planned their future together. But the real knife to his heart came from the documents his investigator uncovered. Vanessa had orchestrated their entire relationship, planning to divorce him within a year and claim half of his $2.80 billion fortune. The billionaire tech genius who had built his empire from a college dorm room felt like the biggest fool alive. Everyone wanted something from Nathan Pierce. His money, his connections, his influence, but nobody wanted just him. That night, Nathan made a decision that shocked everyone who knew him. He disappeared. A new life in Portland. 3 weeks later, Nathan Pierce no longer existed. In his place stood Nate, a humble churro vendor, pushing a colorful cart through the streets of Portland, Oregon. He wore simple clothes bought from a thrift store, lived in a tiny studio apartment, and learned to make churros from a YouTube video. Tutorial that took him 12 attempts to get right. The first week was humbling. People walked past him without a second glance. Some wrinkled their noses at his cart. Others treated him like he was invisible. Nathan had never felt so free, and yet so lonely. "Your churros are too crispy," a small voice said one Tuesday morning. Nathan looked down to see a boy around 7 years old, wearing a dinosaur backpack and holding a half-eaten churro. The kid had messy brown hair, bright green eyes, and the kind of honest expression that only children possess. "Excuse me?" Nathan asked, amused. "They're good, but too crispy. My mom makes churros sometimes, and hers are softer inside. Yours are like eating sweet sticks." The boy took another bite anyway. "Still pretty good, though. 7 out of 10. Nathan laughed for the first time in weeks. "Well, thank you for the honest review. What's your name, food critic?" "Lucas. What's yours?" "Nate. Just Nate." "No last name?" Nathan hesitated. "Just Nate for now." Lucas studied him with suspicious eyes that reminded Nathan of someone, though he couldn't place who. "That's weird. Everyone has a last name. Are you a spy?" "Do I look like a spy?" "Maybe. Spies are supposed to blend in. You're blending pretty well as a churro guy." Lucas finished the churro and licked his fingers. "Can I have another one?" "I'll pay this time. You didn't pay for the first one?" "I was conducting a quality test. Free samples are standard in business." Lucas pulled out 2 crumpled dollar bills from his pocket. "My mom says always pay for what you take, even if it's just okay." The protective mother, Lucas Anthony Brooks. A woman's voice cut through the street noise, and Nathan looked up to see someone running toward them. She had long dark hair pulled into a ponytail, warm brown skin, and eyes that flashed with worry and anger. She wore a flour-dusted apron over jeans and a simple t-shirt. Even in her obvious distress, there was something striking about her. "How many times do I have to tell you not to talk to strangers?" She grabbed Lucas by the shoulders, checking him over as if Nathan might have harmed him in the 30 seconds they had been talking. He's not a stranger. He's Nate, the churro guy, who doesn't know how to make soft churros." Nathan bit back a smile. This kid was something else. The woman turned her sharp gaze on Nathan, and he felt like he was being examined under a microscope. "I apologize if my son bothered you. He gave me some valuable feedback, actually." Nathan gestured to the churros. "Apparently, they're too crispy." "Lucas, you can't just eat people's food and criticize it." The woman pulled out a $5 bill and thrust it at Nathan. "For whatever he ate. He only had 1 churro. This is too much. Keep the change. Consider it a tip for dealing with my son's commentary." She took Lucas's hand firmly. "We need to go. Now." "But Mom, I didn't get my second churro yet. You've had enough sugar for 1 day." "That's not fair. I paid for it." The woman sighed, that universal sound of a parent at their limit. She looked at Nathan again, her expression softening slightly. "I'm sorry. He's usually not this persistent with strangers. It's really fine. He's a great kid." Nathan meant it. For a moment, their eyes met, and Nathan saw something flicker in her expression. Curiosity, maybe, or recognition of someone else who carried heavy burdens. But then her walls went back up, Come on, Lucas, we have to open the bakery. Wait, Nathan called out. I didn't catch your name. The woman hesitated, as if debating whether to answer. Jasmine. Jasmine Brooks. It's nice to meet you, Jasmine Brooks. I'm Nate. Just Nate? Her eyebrow raised, the same suspicious look her son had given him. For now, yes. Jasmine studied him for a long moment, then nodded curtly. Well, just Nate. Try to make your churros less crispy next time. My son clearly plans to be a repeat customer, whether I like it or not. With that, she pulled Lucas away, the boy waving enthusiastically over his shoulder. Nathan waved back, watching them disappear around the corner. He looked down at the $5 bill in his hand and smiled. For the first time since his world had fallen apart, Nathan Pierce felt something other than emptiness. He felt curious. The pattern begins the next day. Lucas appeared again, and the day after that. Each time, Jasmine would come looking for him, her expression a mix of exasperation and concern. Each time, Nathan found himself looking forward to their arrival a little more. By the end of the week, Nathan had perfected a softer churro recipe just to see Lucas smile. And when Jasmine finally tasted one at her son's insistence, the brief look of surprise and approval on her face felt better than any business deal Nathan had ever closed. He was falling into a routine he'd never expected to want. A simple life, simple pleasures, and the company of a suspicious woman and her impossible son. Nathan didn't know it yet, but his carefully constructed walls were about to crumble, one churro at a time. 2 months passed, and Nathan's churro cart had become a neighborhood fixture. More importantly, it had become Lucas's favorite after-school stop. The boy would run from the bus stop 3 blocks away, his dinosaur backpack bouncing. Just to tell Nathan about his day, we learned about the solar system today, Lucas announced one Thursday afternoon, accepting his usual churro. Did you know Jupiter has 79 moons? That's like having 79 nightlights in the sky. Nathan smiled, leaning against his cart. That's a lot of moons. Which planet is your favorite? Saturn, because of the rings. They look like a giant hula hoop. Lucas took a bite of his churro. What's your favorite planet? Earth. It's the only one with churros. Lucas laughed, that pure sound of childhood joy that made Nathan's chest warm. You're funny, Nate. I wish you could come to career day at school. Everyone brings boring jobs. Lawyers, doctors, teachers, but a churro vendor who tells jokes would be cool. Nathan felt a pang in his chest. In his old life, he had been invited to speak at Harvard, MIT, and countless tech conferences. Now, the highest honor he could receive was a 7-year-old thinking his fake job was cool enough for career day. Maybe someday, Nathan said softly. Lucas? There you are. Jasmine appeared, but this time she wasn't rushing. She walked slowly, carrying 2 paper cups of coffee. Her hair was down today, falling in soft waves past her shoulders. She wore a yellow sundress that made her look younger, less burdened. I thought you might want some coffee, she said, offering 1 cup to Nathan. As a thank you for putting up with my son's daily visits, Nathan accepted the coffee, surprised. You didn't have to do that, but Lucas talks about you constantly. Nate says this. Nate thinks that. Nate makes the best churros in the world. Jasmine smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. I figured anyone who makes my son that happy deserves at least a cup of coffee. It was the first genuine kindness Jasmine had shown him, and Nathan felt something shift between them. They fell into an easy conversation while Lucas played on a nearby bench, making his action figures fight imaginary battles. Jasmine told Nathan about her bakery, how she had inherited it from her grandmother and was barely keeping it afloat. Some days, I sell just enough to cover rent. Other days, I wonder if I should just sell the place and get a regular job with benefits. Jasmine stared into her coffee. But it's all I have left of my grandmother. She believed in me when nobody else did. What about Lucas's father? Nathan asked gently. Jasmine's expression hardened. He left when I was 6 months pregnant. Said he wasn't ready to be a father. Last I heard, he was living in California with a new family. 2 kids he actually decided to raise. I'm sorry. Don't be. We're better off without him. Da, da, da. Jasmine watched Lucas play, her eyes soft with love. Lucas is the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't trade him for anything. Nathan saw the strength in her, the quiet determination of someone who had been knocked down but refused to stay there. He recognized it because he had felt the same way once, back when he was building his company from nothing. "You're a good mother," Nathan said. "Lucas is lucky to have you." Jasmine looked at him, really looked at him, and Nathan felt exposed. "You're different from most people, Nate. You listen. You don't judge. It's rare. Maybe I've been judged enough to know how it feels."
"What you mean?"
Nathan realized he had said too much. He changed the subject quickly. "Nothing important. Tell me more about your bakery. What's your specialty?" Jasmine hesitated, clearly wanting to push the question, but she let it go. "Cinnamon rolls. My grandmother's secret recipe. People come from across town just for them. I'd love to try one someday. Come by tomorrow morning. I'll save you the best one." Jasmine stood up, calling to Lucas, "Sweetheart, we need to prep for tomorrow's orders." Lucas ran over, hugging Nathan's waist quickly before taking his mother's hand. "See you tomorrow, Nate. See you tomorrow, buddy." As they walked away, Jasmine looked back once, and the expression on her face made Nathan's heart race. It was the look of someone beginning to care, beginning to let their guard down. Nathan realized with startling clarity that he was falling for her. For this strong, suspicious, beautiful woman who worked herself to exhaustion to give her son a good life. For the first time since Vanessa's betrayal, Nathan wanted something real, but he was living a lie. The crisis the following week? Nathan arrived at his usual corner to find Jasmine sitting on the curb, her face buried in her hands. Lucas sat beside her, his small arm around her shoulders. Looking more worried than any 7-year-old should, Nathan abandoned his cart and rushed over. "Jasmine, what's wrong?" She looked up, her eyes red from crying. "The landlord is selling the building. He gave me 30 days to either buy it or leave. I don't have that kind of money. I barely have enough for next month's inventory. How much does he want for it? $180,000? I might as well need $1 million. I've been saving for years, and I have maybe $8,000. Jasmine wiped her eyes angrily. 7 years of work, gone. My grandmother's legacy, gone. And I have to tell Lucas we're losing everything. Lucas looked up at Nathan with tears in his eyes. "Can you help us, Nate? You're really smart. Maybe you know what to do." Nathan's mind raced. He could write a check right now and solve everything. He could call his bank, transfer the money, and save Jasmine's bakery without blinking. $180,000 was pocket change to Nathan Pierce. But Nathan Pierce didn't exist here. Here he was just Nate, a churro vendor, who probably didn't have $180 in his bank account. "Let me think about it," Nathan said, kneeling beside them. "There has to be a solution." Jasmine shook her head. "There isn't. I thought about everything. I even looked into loans, but my credit isn't good enough. I made some mistakes when I was younger, and now they're coming back to haunt me." Nathan took her hand without thinking. "Don't give up yet, please." Jasmine looked at their joined hands, then at his face. Something passed between them, a moment of connection that felt electric. "Why do you care so much?" she whispered. "Because you matter," Nathan said honestly. "You and Lucas both matter?" The promise that night, Nathan sat in his small apartment, staring at his phone. He had Oliver's number memorized. One call, and he could have the money transferred. One call, and he could save everything. But how would he explain it? How could Nate, the churro vendor, suddenly produce $180,000? His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Thank you for caring today. It meant more than you know." Jasmine Lucas must have given her his number. Nathan stared at the message, his heart aching. He typed back, "I'm going to help you. I promise. You don't have to promise impossible things." "It's not impossible. Trust me." There was a long pause before her response came. "I'm starting to trust you, Nate. That scares me." "Why?" "Because everyone I've trusted has let me down. My ex, my parents, even some friends. I can't afford to trust the wrong person again." Nathan stared at his phone, guilt washing over him. He was exactly the wrong person to trust because he was lying to her about everything, but he was also falling in love with her, truly and deeply. And that was the most honest thing he had felt in years. "I won't let you down," he typed. "I swear it." The next morning, Nathan made a decision. He called Oliver. "I need you to set up an anonymous investment fund. Make it look like a small business grant program. I want $180,000 delivered to Jasmine Brooks for her bakery." "Boss, are you sure about this?" "I've never been more sure of anything." As Nathan hung up, he saw Jasmine and Lucas approaching his cart. Lucas ran ahead, his face lighting up when he saw Nathan, but it was Jasmine's smile, tentative and hopeful, that made Nathan certain he was making the right choice. Even if it meant keeping his secret a little longer, he was going to protect them, no matter what it cost him. 2 weeks after Nathan made the call to Oliver, Jasmine received an official-looking letter in the mail. She opened it at the bakery counter while Nathan and Lucas shared churros at a nearby table. "Oh my God," she whispered, her hand shaking. "Mom, what is it?" Lucas jumped up, concerned. "It's from the Pacific Northwest Small Business Foundation. They're awarding me a grant of $180,000 for being an outstanding community business owner." Tears streamed down Jasmine's face. "This can't be real. Things like this don't happen to people like me." Nathan felt warmth spread through his chest, watching her joy. This was what his money should do: help people who truly needed it, not sit in accounts collecting interest. Jasmine looked up at him, her eyes shining. "Nate, did you hear? I can keep the bakery. Lucas and I won't lose everything." "That's incredible," Nathan said, standing to hug her. She melted into his arms, and he held her close, breathing in the scent of vanilla and cinnamon that always clung to her hair. "I told you to trust," he whispered. When she pulled back, Jasmine cupped his face with both hands. "You were right. Maybe good things do happen to people who don't give up." Then, before Nathan could process what was happening, Jasmine kissed him. It was soft and sweet and filled with gratitude and something deeper. Something that felt like the beginning of love. Lucas cheered in the background. "Finally! I thought you two would never kiss. You've been making googly eyes at each other for weeks." They broke apart, laughing. Jasmine blushed deeply. "I'm sorry." "I shouldn't have. Don't apologize," Nathan said, pulling her close again. "I've wanted to do that since the first day you brought me coffee." "Really?" "Really." Growing closer the next month was the happiest of Nathan's life. He spent his mornings selling churros and his afternoons at Jasmine's bakery, which she had renamed Brooks Family Bakery with the money she had left over from the grant. They went on proper dates. Walks through the park, movie nights with Lucas, and quiet dinners after the boy went to sleep. Nathan taught Lucas how to make churros, and Lucas taught Nathan how to play video games. Jasmine taught Nathan that love didn't have to be complicated or transactional. It could be simple, honest, and beautiful. "I'm falling in love with you," Jasmine told him one evening as they sat on her apartment balcony. Watching the sunset, Nathan's heart soared and broke at the same time. "I'm already in love with you. I have been for weeks. There's just one thing that bothers me." Jasmine turned to face him. "You never talk about your past. Where you came from, what you did before this, your family. It's like you appeared out of thin air. My past isn't important. This is my life now." "But it is important, Nate. I've told you everything about me. My failed relationship, my struggles, my fears. You know all my secrets. But I don't know yours." She took his hand. "I want to know all of you, not just the parts you choose to show me." Nathan felt panic rising in his chest. "What if you don't like what you learn? Then we'll deal with it together. That's what people who love each other do." Before Nathan could respond, his phone buzzed with an urgent message from Oliver. "Emergency. Vanessa found you. She's on her way to Portland with reporters. You have maybe 2 hours." Nathan's blood ran cold. The truth comes out. Nathan stood abruptly, his mind racing. "I need to go." "What? Right now?" Jasmine looked hurt. "We were having an important conversation." "I know, and I'm sorry. There's something I need to handle." He kissed her forehead quickly. "I'll explain everything soon. I promise." But he didn't make it far. As Nathan rushed down the apartment stairs, he ran directly into a news crew with cameras and microphones. And standing in the center of the chaos, looking triumphant in a designer dress and perfect makeup, was Vanessa. "Nathan Pierce," she called out loudly, her voice carrying up the stairwell. "Is it true you've been hiding in Portland, pretending to be a street vendor?" Jasmine appeared at the top of the stairs, confused. Nathan Pierce. What is she talking about? Nathan's world crumbled as he watched Jasmine's face change from confusion to understanding to betrayal. "You're Nathan Pierce?" "The billionaire." Jasmine's voice was barely a whisper. "The one who's been all over the news for disappearing before his wedding." "Jasmine, let me explain. You lied to me. This entire time, you've been lying." Tears filled her eyes. "I trusted you. I told you things I've never told anyone. And you were just playing some kind of game?" "It wasn't a game. Everything I felt was real." Vanessa laughed, cold and sharp. "Oh, how sweet. Did he tell you he loved you?" "That's what he told me too, right before he abandoned me at the altar." "That's not what happened," Nathan said angrily. But his eyes never left Jasmine. "Nathan, we need to talk," Vanessa purred, moving closer. "All of this has been a misunderstanding. Come back to Seattle. Come back to your real life." Jasmine backed away, shaking her head. "Your real life, of course. This was never real for you, was it? Just a break from your real problems." "Jasmine, please, stay away from me. Stay away from my son." She ran back into her apartment and slammed the door. Nathan stood frozen as the cameras flashed around him, capturing his heartbreak for tomorrow's headlines. Fighting for love, Nathan spent 3 days trying to reach Jasmine. She wouldn't answer his calls, wouldn't open her door, and had Grace, her sister, running the bakery while she hid inside. On the 4th day, Lucas appeared at Nathan's churro cart. The boy's eyes were red from crying. "My mom won't stop being sad," Lucas said. "She just sits in her room and cries. She won't even bake anymore." Nathan knelt down to Lucas's level. "I'm so sorry, buddy. I never meant to hurt her. Why did you lie to us?" "Because I was running from someone who hurt me. And I was scared that if people knew who I really was, they would only want me for my money." "That's dumb," Lucas said bluntly. "My mom doesn't care about money. She cares about people being honest. She always says honesty is the most important thing." "You're right. I was wrong to lie." Lucas studied him seriously. "Do you really love my mom? More than anything in the world, and fight for her? That's what heroes do in movies. They don't give up." The grand gesture that evening, Nathan did something he had never done before. He held a press conference right in front of Jasmine's apartment building. Reporters gathered as Nathan stood under her window, holding a microphone. "My name's Nathan Pierce, and I'm here to tell the truth. 6 months ago, I discovered that the woman I planned to marry was only interested in my money. It broke something inside me, made me believe that nobody could love me for who I really am." He looked up at Jasmine's window, where he could see her shadow behind the curtain. "So I ran away. I became someone else. Just Nate, a churro vendor, with no past and no complications. And then I met someone extraordinary. A woman who worked harder than anyone I've ever known. A woman who sacrificed everything for her son. A woman who taught me that real wealth isn't measured in bank accounts. It's measured in moments of genuine connection." Hey, the curtain moved slightly. "Jasmine Brooks, I lied about my identity, and I will regret that for the rest of my life. But I never lied about my feelings. Every moment with you was real. Every laugh, every conversation, every time I held you was the most honest I've ever been." Nathan's voice cracked with emotion. "I love you. I love Lucas. I love the life we were building together. And if you'll give me a chance, I'll spend every day proving that the man you fell in love with, the churro vendor who listened to your dreams and held you when you cried, that man is the real me. Not the billionaire, not the CEO, just me, the man who loves you." The crowd was silent. Even the reporters had lowered their cameras. The apartment door opened, and Jasmine stepped out. Her eyes were swollen from crying, but she walked straight to Nathan. "You hurt me," she said softly. "I know. You made me believe in love again, and then you broke my heart. I know. And I'm sorry. Jasmine took a shaky breath. But Lucas is right. You were never the billionaire with us. You were just Nate, the man who made my son laugh. The man who held my hand when I thought I'd lost everything. The man who somehow arranged a miracle to save my bakery. Nathan's eyes widened. You knew? I'm not stupid, Nathan. A random grant for the exact amount I needed, arriving right after I told you the problem? I figured it out. Oh. She smiled through her tears. I was angry that you didn't trust me enough to tell me who you were. But I was never angry about your money. I should have told you. Yes, you should have. But I also understand why you didn't. Jasmine cupped his face, just like she had the day she kissed him. I fell in love with a churro vendor named Nate. Can I also love a billionaire named Nathan? They're the same person. I promise. Then prove it. Stay here. Keep your cart. Keep making churros with too much cinnamon. Be the man I fell in love with, just with your real name. Nathan laughed, crying at the same time. I can do that. He kissed her in front of all the cameras, in front of Vanessa, who stormed off in fury, in front of the whole world, and it felt like coming home. 6 months later, Ethan and Jasmine were married in a small ceremony at the bakery, surrounded by close friends and family. Lucas was the ring bearer, wearing a tiny suit and his dinosaur backpack because he refused to leave it at home. Nathan had moved his company headquarters to Portland and split his time between running his business and helping Jasmine expand Brooks' family bakery into a chain. They still lived simply in a nice but modest house, and Nathan still ran his churro cart on weekends because Lucas insisted it was the coolest thing his dad did. Do you ever regret it? Jasmine asked one evening as they cleaned up the bakery together. Giving up the fancy life? Nathan pulled her close, watching through the window as Lucas played outside. I gave up nothing and gained everything. I have you. I have Lucas. I have a real family. That's the only wealth that matters. Jasmine kissed him softly. I love you, just Nate. I love you too, always. And in that moment, standing in a flower-dusted bakery with the woman he loved and the son who had become his own, Nathan Pierce finally understood what it meant to be truly rich. The end.